is why I don't Zoom with my mother.
Okay. Crikey is all I can say. You know that if I'm using my old Australianisms.
And
Hi, everyone. Yes, third time is the charm.
Serenity now.
Exactly. What's the fear thing from Dune? Anyone? Nerds? Come on. Okay, he knows now that he can't use his desktop. So that was the problem, guys. That was the problem. Let's see if we've got... Nope, still no. In case you guys haven't joined us the first...
He just joined.
Okay. I see him, but he has to... Okay. Yes, I don't... Where, Nolan? You come right here. Come on. Yes! Oh my God!
You found me!
Hallelujah!
This deserves a Guinness.
Lighting after all that.
Hold on, this deserves a Guinness. I've been so troubled. I was going to be with you guys, with the good camera, doing all that good stuff. So,
well,
and
find your good
apparently
lighting
that
there,
doesn't work. So, it's all good. Now I'm releasing the hounds, and I'm coming outside where I will now sit and relax.
Now there will be the perfect lighting, and you have your cold beverage. Hi, baby.
I do. I'm sorry. I did not know that I couldn't do it that way.
You are not the first. Kimberly Brooks was the first. She couldn't figure it out. She had to get her son to come and get her on the...
Oh, I have 2 of those. I should have used that. That's a good resource.
You should have.
And there's JP. JP and I just worked together yesterday.
This is what I hear. You guys had a session together. I'm jealous.
Yes, we did, from our respective rooms.
We're on the Lego City Adventures together.
Yeah.
What? You heard it here, you guys.
So much fun.
I don't know if that's like a big secret, but I'm going to act like it is. There it is, guys. There's the tea. There's the gossip. There's the first-hand knowledge.
Yeah.
That is. How are you guys?
A full face patch. His name is Captain Face Patch. So there's that.
It's a little on the nose, but you know. Hi, Uncle Noli. We're so happy you're here. My God.
It's good to be here.
That was
glad I made it. Wasn't sure.
For any of you guys who are just joining us for the first time, like Uncle Noli, I am Courtenay Taylor. This is JP Karliak. This is Nolan North, and he is joining us on Between Two Nerds. We are a little offshoot of nerdsvote.com. Today is National Voter Registration Day, also known as Nerd Voter Registration Day. And if you haven't registered to vote yet, please go to our pinned comment. It is pinned.
The comment is not pinned.
It is not pinned. Jesus, everything was going so well until
I tried to log on the wrong format.
Okay, so our pinned comment is our website. You can go there and you can register to vote. Also, we have a lot of other things to talk about with groovy little pictures and things. But right now, if you have questions for Uncle Noli, throw them in the little question box below, in the box, not in the chat, in the box, and so I can see it, because I can't see that far.
Neither can I. That's why I like nothing, everything, nothing, everything, nothing.
I'm like,
brutal.
Something far away. Camera one.
Oh yeah, no, that's a problem. It's like far away, I'm fine, but it's just like I have to do this. I can't see anything. So.
And you can't get on the Instagrams.
And this is technically would be called Below Two Nerds today, because I'm.
It is, but
below you guys. I should do this. I feel like I should talk like this. Like right.
JP is a good Catholic, and he said no.
Ah.
So
well, he's a good Catholic. He's in heaven. I'm clearly down in hell. So.
how are you? What's going on? Obviously, we are all. I was so excited when he said that he had a session with you because I was like, oh, were you with him? And he was like, no, of course we were on the Zoom call.
No, and it's one of those one of the few remaining jobs that actually try and have everyone in at the same time. So it's as much a cast record as you can have. Whereas a lot of the other shows that I'm doing right now, you're by yourself and they'll just pick up your stuff, and it's fun to watch people work. Roger Craig Smith is in there. I mean, all kinds of people, but it gets a little bit much. Matter of fact, I think the director had to kick a couple people out because you can't have too many people on with bandwidth or something weird. So it was just one of those interesting days. But it's a fun one. It's a fun show.
You guys made the cut, at least. You didn't get kicked out.
We did. Yeah, we made the cut. They needed our
I had
stuff.
one line, so I was barely there. But, yeah.
One of
But
my
it was
favorite
wonderful.
stories is actually doing the group records with you for Halo.
Oh yeah,
The Halo Wars game that we did.
Yeah, years ago.
How
Halo Wars was great.
It was, but we got nothing done.
No. Well, that's kind of my curse. Like, there's a show with Kevin Michael Richardson and I've done for a few seasons now. And after the first 2 times that we recorded together, they said, oh no, he has to record on Mondays now. I'm like, oh, that's a shame. They're like, no, it's kind of on purpose. A 45-minute session took 2 hours with you two. I was like, oh, because we can't stop laughing. He's the best. So.
Oh, he is a riot.
Well, we promised everyone, because we had to log back in 3 times, that we would go straight to some questions. So, so there's going to be, we like to talk about food and voting a lot on the show, but we're going to
food. Did you say food and voting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that weird?
I immediately pictured like a food truck, at the polling places with your faces on the side, selling things, just people like, hey, I'm in line to vote, but I really want to go eat something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go get some, Taco Tuesday, because it's a Tuesday when you vote usually.
I think you're onto something, Nolan. Seriously, I think we could do this.
We could make this happen.
I will be working in the polls, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but so I will not be serving any food, but I will be in a Tyrannosaurus Rex outfit. So that's something.
Yes, well, that's how it works. No problem.
We do like to talk about food and voting, and we generally sort of shy away from like work questions so much. But since everyone was so patient, we're going to throw some more questions at you. What was your favorite character to voice in Portal 2?
Ooh. You know what? I think one of my favorites, one of the crowd favorite was the little, so I did a few little spheres and going to space. Everybody really loved that. But I was also the adventure core. And he had one of my favorite lines I've ever done in any animation or a game, anything. Because he kind of talked like this. It was kind of like Lee Majors in The Fall Guy, but a little amped up. And he's this little robot AI who's hitting on a human, constantly hitting on her. And he just finally sits there and goes, I happen to be an expert at karate, jujitsu, and bedroom. And it's like, who wrote that? That's brilliant. I know karate, jujitsu, and bedroom.
Guys, ladies, I think you should.
Adventure Core is the answer. Because he's just horny little robot.
It's funny because you played an obnoxious little weird creature in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Was it like just like a rolling head that was trying to like hump your leg or something the entire time?
I don't know about. I think I did a small. I did Dr. Richthofen for all the Call of Duties. So that was
but it was for zombies. Didn't you do
no, that was zombies. No, it was zombies. But yeah, I think there was a severed head they asked me to voice too. I think that was like a freebie. We'll throw that in for them. I play a lot of obnoxious characters. I don't know why.
Your best. You are truly my favorite Deadpool of all time. Let's see. Little Tea
Thank
Cakes
you.
wants to know Nolan's character in the recent episode of Star Trek Lower Decks was incredible. I was wondering. Oh, it got cut off. Fantastic.
It's not a question. It's a statement. I'm reading it too.
Yeah.
Nolan's character in the
I
recent
was
episode
just
was
wondering.
incredible. But notice she says Nolan wasn't incredible. The character was, and that's all we can hope for.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
it was.
true.
You know what? It was actually. It's a funny one. You'll like it because we got in there, and the character that they gave me was this guy who it was basically he was what happened when a little boy and an old man got stuck in the transporter at the same time, and they just became melded in. So for the voice, they didn't know what they wanted. I said, well, what if we have him talk like this, like a little old man, and then all of a sudden he gets really young, and then he goes back to an old man, and we just, and they were like, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, it makes it more fun. I mean, if you're cool with it, they're like, yeah, and they ended up writing for the character for a few more episodes. So it's like, I was like, great. And he always has something to tell Boimler, even though he doesn't really know what's going on when he's that old. Oh, man, he's young. And it would always just be like, all right, let's do the line, start young, go old, then and back to old young, or start old, go. We literally would do the opposite on just about every line. So they knew what they could figure out what they wanted to do. But it's fun. You know, it's fun to do it. It's just like you're goofing around. You can't make mistakes if you make it up.
There's something oddly Jiminy Glick about that.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? I love that. Great reference. I love that show. Of course, anything anything Martin Short does is genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, and horribly prescient because I've seen way too many people. Like, I can't remember who it was the guy who had the shaky cigarette with the incredibly long ash.
That was Martin Short.
Like, I'm not nervous. I've seen like several politicians where I was like, it's that guy. It's that Martin Short guy.
Ready for this? You ready for this? The character is called Nathan Thurm. Nathan Thurm. I know that. You don't think I know that? It's him, right? It's not me. Nathan Thurm. Oh, I used to. So when Martin Short was on Saturday Night Live, I was probably in, I guess, junior high. Yeah, junior high. And that was my ticket to get anybody to notice me, especially any girls. And just try to be funny, because I was like the one like, oh, he's like my brother, because I had a little baby face and everybody wanted the Italian guys who were like shaven in the 6th grade, like their moms.
Or just about to with the little dirt mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't grow that.
Is that your COVID growth for the last 6 months?
Oh, I haven't shaved in 7 months. This is it. The baby face. Of course, all my face was replaced with just the skin of infants when I was what am I saying? I don't know.
Just baby soft, no pores. That's why you can't grow anything, because the hair.
I don't sweat. I have no
the hair
sweat
cannot
glands.
come out. Are you doing anything? I mean, obviously you're working your ass off, but during COVID, speaking of the last 7 months, how are you staying somewhat sane? What are you doing besides work to kind of not claw the paint off the walls?
Got a lot of stuff done around the house. You know, it took a global pandemic for me to A, a booth in my house to work.
What?
B is to I never had a booth because I used to like getting out of my own places. And now I don't know if I'll ever go back because with traffic, it just was. Why would you do that? I cleaned out my garage finally. Got the garage cleaned out. Take care of the dogs. Got a lot done around the house.
So your marriage is going great, and you are just now permanently going to be drinking a Guinness every time that you record.
Pretty much. Some type of. I don't know. Pretty much.
And why not?
Thankfully, nobody's gotten ill. We've stayed healthy and safe. It really did. Like the garage became the place where it kind of accumulated, So I got a dumpster and a match, and I was just burning it, throwing it away, giving it away. And yeah, it's been nice. So our boys are 20 and 17, and it's been an opportunity to like really have them around here, like when they were, you know, 12 and 9, or whatever. Just when we were their Uber, it's like, sorry, you can't go anywhere. Caught up on some TV, good stuff, bad stuff, pretty much everything.
You had a guilty pleasure?
I almost hit the bottom of Netflix, to be honest with you. Guilty pleasure. Lately, I wasn't into it at first, but there's really good performances in Yellowstone. Yellowstone's Kevin Costner's show, and yeah, there's some good. There's some. He's great, but Cole Hauser is an actor a lot of people don't know too much about. Maybe he's brilliant. I mean, what he does is he's brilliant in this show. It's just from an acting perspective. Now, there's some other people you're like, local hire. That no, that I don't know about that. So that was.
It's like when you're watching a commercial and you're like, non-union, regional. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, exactly. But then I'm a big sports fan, and I never realized how much I missed live sports because I was watching football from 2017, going, "Don't look it up to see who won. Don't look it up to see who won." But yeah, I enjoyed that kind of stuff. It's been okay though. You know me, Courtney. I'm kind of a homebody anyway, and it's been as long as everybody's healthy and safe, and I'm good. That's it.
Yeah, I'm an introverted extrovert, I think, or extroverted introvert. Extroverted introvert.
I told somebody, I said, I've gone from being antisocial to socially responsible. So it's like I'm
Now
good.
it's just cool to be everywhere.
Well, I just like it because now I know when I'm gonna have to be social. So
Right.
I can kind of gear up for it. I wash, I put makeup on, I pump myself up with a couple cups of coffee, where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out and smile and be like, hey guys, hey. And then
I won't even go
get
a cup
home,
of coffee.
just pull the plug.
I won't even get coffee till I put my face on. I know how you are. I know how it is, girl.
I know. You've seen me at conventions, and I mean, this doesn't happen without 3 to 4 hours with a spackling knife.
Are you kidding? We road tripped from Middle Tennessee State University, Courtenay Taylor and Nolan, all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina, because we had to get back. And they were like, sorry, we can't. The flight was canceled to Charlotte.
They canceled our flight. They just were like, nah, we're just.
And we went road tripping. It was so much fun.
Nolan was like, I got to go to Dubai. And I was like, what? Dubai?
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to go to Dubai tomorrow. And I was like,
yeah, that's right. No,
I have a lot of important stuff to do at home too. Can I get a ride?
There was a paycheck in Dubai. I wasn't going on vacation. I was like, they're paying me money.
Yeah, but it was just amazing where I was like, yeah, I got to get home because I have like an important job. Sure. And you were flying out to Dubai. And so Nolan was like a man possessed, and he got a car and he just drove, like we live streamed it. And we got to the airport.
And we got there.
Ran through the airport, ran to the bar, chugged a glass of wine, possibly a scotch, and boom, onto the plane.
Wine. We don't drink wine. It was bourbon. It was bourbon that night. No, because I remember, because we got there and we ran up. We were like, did we make it? They're like, yeah, we'll call you when it's ready to board. We're like, let's go get a drink. And do you remember one of the rudest waitresses I ever? She was just, and we were trying to be as nice as, and she just was having none of it. She liked me. She hated you.
Well,
no, she did. She was mean to both of us.
She was horribly mean to you. I am used to it, but she was horribly mean to you. And she is, I believe, what they would call a Karen these days. And she had the crazy hair, like the John and Kate +8 hair.
Yeah,
And
she
was
had a
so mean.
she had a massive JP. She had a massive chip on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Who could be mean
I
to
love this.
us?
I love that. I love that. There he is on the iPad. It's like you're there, but you're not.
Yeah, and I mean it's weird because the view that I am seeing is basically most of Courtney's kitchen, and then like a tiny little version of you right
Oh wait,
there. So.
no. How about this?
No, I got it.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
here.
it's
I'm a little
all
tiny.
all very presentational.
Don't look at my kitchen.
He probably figures like I probably look like a magnet on the refrigerator.
I love Voyager Ray says the let me speak to your manager hair. And that is correct. Except for I was the one that was like, let me speak to, and Nolan's like, plane. And we're like, okay, bye.
Oh yeah, no,
$40 you're a waitress.
Courtney was like,
okay.
Courtney was like, I literally think I've had enough. I'm like, let it go. We gotta go. We got to the plate because you were gonna get in a fist fight with Karen, and you're gonna miss the flight.
That is true. You know what? I was a waitress for a long time. Like, if you're a worse waitress than me, I'm gonna talk to you about it.
Everybody should have to wait. Everybody, I believe, should have to serve food in their lifetime. I did it.
Yes.
I did drinks. I did food. It kind of makes you go, get some perspective. Because when I see people treating staff poorly, it's like, oh, you're why they might spit on my steak, and just mix up the orders. Don't be a jerk in a restaurant, and tip too much.
On your burger back there. Mm-hmm. Yes, Nanny Marie, she did get a tip because we have both been
because we're not garbage people.
Exactly, and I
right. No, you tip it. I mean, we licked it first and coughed on it.
We did, but it wasn't COVID yet, so
exactly.
Yeah,
she just got the regular flu.
We tooted on the $10 bill. We each did, and then we put it in the thing.
Yeah,
that's how
pretty much.
Yeah, because we're babies.
Great.
Because we are both 12-year-old boys, Nolan and I. And you know what? It was great.
It was.
Guys, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is Between Two Nerds. I'm Courtney Taylor. This is JP Karliak. This is Nolan North. And we are talking about some voting stuff. We're talking about food. We're talking about tooting. And sorry.
Whatever comes to mind.
Is what it goes down that. If you are curious what we're celebrating today, it's National Voter Registration Day. We have a pinned comment down below. You can check it out, register to vote right there. You can put your pinned your questions for Nolan in the little question box down below, and we will get to those. Let's see. Someone wants to know where they left their keys.
They're in it's in the sofa, like the smalls, not the love seat sofa. You left them there.
That's right. Do your boys play the Uncharted series?
Yeah, they did. It's funny. I know.
Do they care? Do they care anymore?
I don't know if they ever did.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever really did.
They're just over it.
No, they just, I mean, it's just sort of, they're not, although my older one is not happy that it's with the movie choices of what they're doing. He goes, Mark Wahlberg doesn't even have a mustache. Sully, it's a cigar and a mustache. If he's going to play Sully, he's got to have I'm like, let them do their own thing. And I don't care. I'm not in it. So, okay.
Don't even watch it, guys.
Right. I'm gonna see it. I want to see how they do it. I don't care. Have fun.
Yeah,
I did 4 movies. They just happened to be on a video game console. We had a blast. Cheers.
Amen.
Cheers.
I like. You know what? I see a really good question.
So now that we've addressed some of the nerdy part of the Nerds Vote, in terms of the voting part, Nolan, do you have like an early voting memory, or remember the first time you voted, or anything?
Oh yeah.
Anything special about voting experiences?
You know what? I think I remember the first time I was eligible, and I remember kind of sitting there going, I don't know much about the issues or anything. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I won't even go vote. I mean, it could be a night, whatever. And my dad was like, the hell you won't. You get over it. And no, we went to the polling place, and it was one of those things where you realize that, it's and it's tough. I think in this day and age, I wonder if this has gotten lost somewhere. People don't realize that voting's a privilege. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's a privilege. It's your right as a citizen, and I think it's one of those things that I learned at an early age that, educate yourself on some of the issues. You may not care, but talk. And the one thing that I see that concerns me with voting today is people with different opinions. They don't talk to each other. My dad was a fervent Reagan Republican, and my grandfather was a fervent Kennedy Democrat. And they would drink and scream and yell at each other in the house and have all these, but they would talk. And at the end of the day, they'd be like, "Well, that's a good point. Well, all right. Well, I agree with that." And there was there was a middle ground that you try to find. And I think in today's day and age, I went to college for journalism, and everything that I watch on the news now, everybody would get an F in my class from all my professors, because it's all opinion. It's all, they spoon feed certain agendas to our voters. And I think it's really dependent upon everyone. And it's hard. It's a hard thing. And that's what concerns me. A lot of people don't like to do the hard work. You got to educate yourselves. You got to get out there and do stuff, because that's what my parents instilled in me when I was younger, that, yeah, you might not care about what that school board's doing, but it comes in the voter registration pack. I mean, when you're registered and they send you, here's the issues. Here's what this side says. Here's what that side says. It's just written out, and it's, there's no bias. But you got to take the time to go and learn about what you're choosing, what you're doing. I know people. I have some friends who are, big time Republicans, and they're like, "I won't even vote. California is going Democrat. What's the point?" I'm like, "Well, are you one of these people who just presses Republican or just got Democrat all the way down the line, or maybe there's something that you might agree with on the other side?" And so many people just don't. They just pick one side or the other, and it's like, maybe look at all the issues, because a lot of people I know, if they're Democrat, they got some conservative leanings. If they're Republican, they actually have some liberal leanings. I just can't wait for the day, and I hope we can find it, where we find that middle ground, because that's what I learned early on. That was my early memory, was educate yourself on the issues and the people, and then vote your conscience. And and if your opinion's different from your friend's opinion, they shouldn't hate you for that. You shouldn't hate them for that. I think that's what, it's strange that what brought this country together seems to be the thing that's tearing us apart. It's like, we're a melting pot. It's like, yeah, well, now the carrots don't get along with the celery, and the potatoes. Oh, don't even get me started on the potatoes. When we're all in the same gravy. Do you like that? See, I'm bringing it back to your food thing. See,
You are bringing it back to food, and I love you for it.
well, that was my little rant. I apologize, guys. That was my little
No,
rant.
it's great.
But I saw,
mean,
there's a question from C Brown 92.9er. Said, "What advice do you have for those with different views, especially with voting?" It's like, it's what I've learned is just sort of like, I miss when you could talk to somebody and not have the same opinion and go. I actually got into an argument with someone the other day. Not an argument, but they got into an argument with me. I wasn't arguing. And at the end, I said, we're voting the same way in November, but you can't. That's what you're saying is. And I'm going, no. It was the most bizarre thing. It's just because I don't know. People just want to hammer their point. It's like, it's okay to have different views. It's okay.
Yeah, and ultimately, we're going to have to learn to get back to that discussing and working together, because otherwise it's just going to remain diametrically opposed and nothing is going to get done. It's just literally going to be pulling the rug out. And we need to find some places where we can start to work together.
And
it's so important when to your friends who are like, yeah, I'm not going to vote. Like, the president's not the only thing on the ballot in November.
Right. Exactly.
The idea is that you know, it's this privilege and this right that you've got from, you know, a lot of people working very hard to get that, and that the least you can do is make it part of your yearly sort of routine where you're like, I go and this is my time to help steer the country. If you don't call your representatives on a regular basis, or you don't let your
Right.
opinions be known, it's not just about voting, it's about steering, everybody rowing. And if you, the very least you can do is once or twice a year get out and vote, you know, or however often, sorry, like, you know, not once every 4 years, but hey, like, we all live in cities, we all live in states. And somebody mentioned in the chat, you know, all the states have different laws. Exactly. All the more reason for you to get in the practice of voting, because that's where change
Yes.
is going to happen from the ground up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you have, just to speak a little bit to the person who was like, how do you talk to people who don't have the same opinions, or if it's difficult for you to talk to a family member? I mean, I would say always come from like or a good way is to come from your personal perspective, to say, hey, this is why these laws and these ballot measures affect me, you know, because I have kids in school, because I'm LGBT, because I am older and I'm, you know, I have medical issues, or because I'm dating someone of another race, or, you know, I feel like once you drive things in a way that is personal and not just like airy fairy in the, you know, theories, then people start to, it was great. I was actually in a convention in Alabama, and we were talking about, the woman who was my handler was talking about racism. And I said, like, how is that here? And she said, babies. She's like, we combat, the way that people combat racism is because there's lots of people who are in, who are dating people of a different race, and they're having kids. And the greatest way to combat racism is to hand them a baby. And I was like, that's kind of, I mean, I don't know if it's the greatest way, but it was really, that it kind of drove home that idea of like, it's personal. When you hand a grandbaby to somebody, they understand, and they're like, oh, this is a little life that's in my life. So
yeah, it's also, I just think that the biggest thing that in terms of, we talk just when talking about racism and stuff like that, and all this, what this country's gone through, it's education through generations. It's not going to happen overnight. But what's been going on lately, I think, is probably something has been it almost feels like we've probably been hitting the snooze button for decades, and this was like the final alarm bell going, wake up. And you know, but it's, you know, it can't be expected for things to change. You know, I mean, where we live out here, you know, and the business that we're all in, it's incredibly inclusive in terms of diversity. I mean, I know it has its own challenges. I'm not, you know, playing anything of that down, but I mean, you know, my kids have been raised around my friends who are black, white, Asian, straight, gay, trans. I mean, this is the business. I mean, so I remember one time, remember CNN had a big thing on like, they did the 50s, then they did the 60s, the
such a
70s.
great series.
And remember that? So I remember when that came out, my oldest was about 9 years old or 10, something like that. I was young. And I was sitting on the couch watching it. And he came down, and it was when Martin Luther King was you know, preaching, and he was, they had the sit-ins and everything. And then they came out with the fire hoses. And he sat there and he looked at me and goes, why are they doing that? I said, well, they don't think black people and white people should be together. He goes, yeah, but why are they hurting them like that? What did they do? I said, well, they were protesting or marching. He goes, yeah, but what did they do? And it was, I remember just sitting there thinking, oh, wow, it's just, this is a learned behavior. This is something that you learn to be that way, because you're not made that way. Because he just couldn't understand, why would you hurt somebody group of people who aren't hurting you. And it was this really sweet moment where I was like, wow. So up till then, you're a clean slate, and then something starts to poison your mind one way or the other. And I think that's just the generations and education and just babies. As the babies are different, because we're technically, I mean, it sounds hokey, but we're all shades of brown. So it's like we're all a certain shade. I'm a paler shade of brown. I'm like the inside of the potato, not the skin. But but it's
the fluffy interior.
Yes, I'm a twice baked potato because there's a little cheese in here. A little cheese, maybe some chives. It's back to food. I love this.
It's always. I'm
Voting and
surprised
food.
you didn't lead with the ice cream, but we'll get to that. C Brown 92.9er says, I'm a mixed buffet.
Yep. Yes.
I'm a poo-poo platter.
Okay. I'll do this for them. Crab. Because it's a Nathan Drake crap. I like that. I too, whippy, WPI, whatever. Oh, crap. Yeah, we should always. That's that. How could it? I mean, it's like maybe we should just be prejudiced against food we don't like.
No,
like,
any food you don't like, because it's all.
Oh,
delicious.
is that true, Courtney? What about pizza with pineapple on it?
Oh, you are an abomination for even bringing that up.
Hold on. I have okay. Okay, hold on. Will Slate says, "Well, this was almost an entirely pointless waste of time." I want Will Slate to ask a question because I don't want him to think this is a waste of time. Will Slate. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at Will Slate. Yeah. No offense to you. Love you. We love you too. Ask a question. I don't want to waste your time, bud. And I'm being serious.
Well, Will asked. We wrote to Will in the comments, but we can answer it here. Will asked if there's an unbiased platform for research and information for the ballots. And as a matter of fact, there is ballotready.org, which is a partner of ours. And we will be talking about, especially starting next week, when we start talking about ballot parties and how you can research your ballots by yourself or with friends. Ballotready.org compiles all of the information put out by candidates and also information about their voting records and what the various press outlets said about them on both sides. So you really get an unbiased picture of what every candidate is all about. And that's also true of ballot measures and initiatives. And they are doing it for every single locale throughout the country. And by the middle of October, they should have everything down to the smallest races. So check them out. They're an amazing resource to get all of your research. And do it now, because if you apply for an absentee ballot or you want to do early voting, you're going to want to do that as soon as possible. Once you get that ballot, you're going to want to fill it out and send it back. So check out ballotready.org and do your research early.
Yes, and right now.
I you know what? Because I'm going to tell you something, Will Slate. If you're still on there and you haven't given up on me, that's the best questions I've ever heard. Like, where do you find that? I've asked myself that same question. So ballotready.org gives you some unbiased facts, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're really awesome.
And it's on your phone. You can look it up. You can obviously you can be waiting in line, but hopefully you will be up to date on your choices and issues before then. But yes, it's right there in your pocket. So Will Slate is still there. Here.
Good. Will, I'm serious. It's a really great question. So you have to understand, I went to college. I got a journalism degree, got a graduate degree in broadcast journalism. I was a reporter for a year before I became an actor. And the state of what's going on, I don't, I used to read newspapers, and I don't even know where I can buy one now. But, watching it, it's just so much of the media spoon feeds us. So it's nice to know that there are some places out there that you can kind of do that research I was talking about earlier. Because I just read it all and then try to dissect. You read two sides of the same story and then go, all right, where were they? You always want to get a highlighter. Go, okay, they said the same thing here and here, so that might be true. So
Or,
So
if they're listing sources, and they're listing a lot of these places that you happen upon on the internet are saying stuff, and they're not quoting any sources or listing anywhere that they've gotten this, or anyone who's actually in a paid position. And that, for example, they may quote a doctor, but that doctor may not be a doctor of what they're talking about. I mean, you have to go a little bit further than just going, oh, this is the newspaper I read, or this is the source that I use. You have to look for facts and sources and things that can be verified. And there are, Snopes.com. There are some places that you can find that will try and verify facts for you, but it's going to take a little bit of work. And that's okay, because this is our country and we need to put some work into it.
cool. Very cool.
And speaking of putting a work into it, I want to just go ahead and throw this little graphic up, get vote ready. So if you guys are not ready to vote yet, start getting ready. Even if you've done absentee ballot registration, things like that, it's very important to get ready to go now. If you are planning on voting in person, you need to research where you're going to go, because there are less places this year. So verify where you're going, where you're parking, who you're going with, make your voting plan, fill out your census, because that's very important too. And right here in your voting plan, research candidates, figure out how you're voting, and then when and where you're going to do it. So see, I put graphics up.
It's all that simple.
Yep. Watch me. And now I take it away.
Very nice. I'm impressed.
Where do I find all this stuff? Just go to nerdsvote.com, scroll through our steps to being a voting nerd, and you'll find links to where do I find my polling place, when do I vote, all of that. Oh, how do I get an absentee ballot? All of the links are in there.
So we've done a lot of the work for you. Nicely done. Nerds vote. Yes. So speaking of making a voting plan, Uncle Noli, do you have a special plan that you're going to do this year? Are you going to pop it in the mail? You're going to go in person? You're going to register? And
No, we have this really cool. There's a really cool little place that we vote, and it's been there forever, and it's just this cool little. It's like a part of this little old town where I live, and it's like this little area by this little lake, and it's like this cool little voting spot. And it's like I said, I took the global pandemic to get me to put a booth in my house, because I like going places. I don't as much as a homebody I am, when I go home, I ain't going back out. But this is one where I could actually probably ride my bike if I wanted to. We could just go for a long walk there, but it's a quaint place. The local, you see a lot of the elderly folks who live here, they work it, and well, you get a free donut if you'd like to have a free donut over there. And Mavis, is there coffee? Well, they only have decaf left. So if you'd like some decaf, is it still hot?
It's always hot.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not hot. Well, we could get some ice, and we'll make an iced coffee. Life gives you lemons, young man. You take lemonade, and it's just one of the sweetest things. So you're like, I gotta go see them. But if you can't go, if you don't have
hot coffee, because they love the hot coffee.
I like this guy. DH Artist just said, did Nolan just admit to being in an old folks home? No, but I go there often to steal jewelry.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how I pay for this. It's everything, my car payment.
If anybody out there is an aspiring voiceover artist, just go vote in person for no other reason, but it's a character study. There's plenty of character studies to do.
Right.
Exactly. And if you're lucky enough to get my polling place, I'm going to be in a T-Rex outfit, or maybe.
Are you now?
Yeah. I bought a T-Rex outfit, one of those blow-up ones that makes the sounds. Because they said that I can't wear partisan stuff, but they didn't say anything about a T-Rex outfit. And I figured, because PPE is scarce and I don't want to take any from a doctor or anything, that I could get the one that has the plastic face hole. And then I am COVID safe. Everyone
You
else
really
is
thought
COVID
this
safe.
through, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands. Yeah, I don't get out much.
Hey,
I
can
actually ordered
I got a
3.
question. I got
Yeah.
a question. I'm curious. Ruben Gonzalez, pal. This poor guy, just wanted people to know that he won his game. And you know what? God bless him. Ruben, congratulations. I just want to recognize
Yay, Ruben.
that you won. Ruben Gonzalez won. That's all. I'm sorry to interrupt. He just
That's
has
great.
been pounding it like, no one cares that I won. I'm like, I do. I care.
We do, Ruben. We do.
So I that's interesting. So you're going to go see, you can't come to my place because you'll just cause heart attacks and strokes everywhere. You just be
Especially
like,
if
I knew they were real. Ah.
Exactly. Or they'll be like, how's it going? Haven't seen you for a long time.
Exactly.
It's my old friend Gladys. She's
my youth.
So, question for you then. When you go to the polls, and you don't have to divulge anything, but when you do go to the polls, who are you hoping that your vote will affect? Not who you're voting for as far as a candidate goes, but who are you voting for to benefit?
Who are you voting for?
For to benefit.
Probably me. It's like, hey, I would like to benefit from, it's like, and I mean, locally, my community, my state, the things that I think, I think, after raising 2 kids, education, I think is super, super important. And, I'm voting for education. I'm voting for inclusivity. I'm voting for, and most importantly, you know what I'm voting for? I'm voting for good people. Sometimes I will ignore party lines depending on what I think of that person, because politics at some point, somewhere along the line, had to have been something noble, had to be something that people aspired to. I mean, like I hear it today. People say, when I was a kid, it was like, one day you could become the president. It was like, wow. And now people are like, I don't want that job. First of all, I can make a lot more money in tech industry, and everybody hates the president no matter what party he's with. So why would you ever want that? It's like so sad. So I think if we sometimes I feel, and that's why I'm really glad about that website you were talking about earlier. I want to know who is that candidate as a person, because I think we need more good people in leadership roles, regardless of sometimes, regardless of what those certain what their agenda might be. I mean, obviously not if it all is within reason, but it just everybody talks about, oh, you got to drain the swamp. It's like, who drains the swamp? We do, with our vote.
Yeah.
By putting good people in positions to make some sort of change. I'm tired of so many people. It just seems like one side is fighting to stop that side from doing what they want, and that side is stopping them from doing what they want. And nobody seems to be working for anything. They're just working against each other. And I'm just tired of that. So I'm voting for good people and solid change.
Again,
I hope.
a great reason to do your research and not just vote down party lines. It's really important.
The problem people usually vote down party lines is because it's quicker. But that's the thing. It's like, enjoy that day. Wear a dinosaur suit. Bring some cupcakes. I mean, just get in that booth and go, it's my time. I take my clothes off. I get in there. They got a curtain. I just let it. I'm like, I'm going to be in here.
It's a short curtain, Nolan. You are rolling
I'm going to be in here a while. I'm going to be in here a while.
No, California, it's hitting your belt buckle, maybe.
No. Maybe that's why the old people always give me extra cookies and juice at the end.
Like you gave blood.
Oh, I gave him more than blood. It's gonna get.
Guys, this is
Me. You know me too well. It's gonna start getting dirty here. I'm trying to turn to my outdoor light because it's getting dark.
I know. I was gonna say we can't see your gorgeous face.
This is literally Nerd's Vote After Dark.
It is. It got real.
Nerds, hold on. I can hold on a second. I'm just gonna come in and find myself a spot. There we go. Now we're back. Hi, welcome back to the Power Hour. I'm Nolan North. Today we're going to find out how to adjust ourselves on a deep set couch.
I don't even know what's happening.
Neither do I.
So I just wanted to throw out, because we did have somebody that asked just a little earlier. We talked about it a little bit, but they were saying that they're working to get out the vote, and they're running into a lot of people that are just like, my vote doesn't matter. And I wanted to just talk a little bit about, what do we say to people that just don't think that their vote counts anymore?
It does. You're wrong. That's what you tell them. You go, you're wrong. Sorry. It does. Everybody's does. And it's like, don't vote for a result. Vote for the process. Vote for yourself. Vote for the idea that, wow, I had to be a certain age before I could do this. And I've earned this right. And go do it for yourself. Don't worry about what it's kind of like the same thing I tell people when they ask me acting advice. They said, I don't really know if I'm going to make it or anything. I said, making it for me was just in the process. And I don't even know. I mean, and quite frankly, I know it's like people think, have I made it? I don't know. There's no finish line to this. Frank Welker's still working. I don't want to quit. It's like, so it's the process. The success is in the process. The joy, the achievement is just in the process, not what the results are. The sad thing is we're in this time of social media and superlatives. Oh, he's the best at this and she's the best at this. And here's the top 10 list. And this is the best. This isn't about winners and losers. This is, you're not voting out there, guys, and watching it like it's American Idol and go, oh, he was way better. It's like, this is there they go, the hounds. Go. I don't have dogs. Those are polar bears.
They are.
No, but just no. It's the point is the process is what matters, and getting out there and exercising your right, your privilege to do this is a win for you personally, not for the candidate. It's your win. You just did something that what people don't realize, and maybe we all need a little more world history. Not everybody gets to vote. People just wake up in the morning and go, oh, that's the new guy who's going to bash my head in. I better just do what they say. You're American. Be proud and exercise that right that that you take for granted, because not everyone in the world gets to do this.
And it's not instant gratification. It's not like you're just a 49ers fan and when they suck one year that you just stop rooting for the 49ers. You're a 49ers fan. If they don't go to the Super Bowl, you try again next year. Okay?
I love it.
Sports analogy, guys. And also,
can I jump in on that? Yes. I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm still a New York Giants fan, but look, JP knows. I think they're going to start playing college teams next weekend because they've been so bad. And I don't know if they're
you know what? You're still a fan and you're still watching. And that's the thing is, like, at least you're not a Jets fan. I mean,
well, that's true. By the way, Vault 428 Chiefs. Oh, get this. They're my AFC team because my dad was from Iowa. So all my hand-me-downs were New York stuff from my older brother, and then Chiefs stuff from my family in Iowa. So
see, there's a voting analogy in there. Two separate teams. You can love parts of both of them.
Man. Oh, see, I love the way.
And also, guys, just remember that this is like it is cumulative. You are not going to turn a cruise ship around just because you dipped the oar in the water one time. You know,
Yeah.
these are things that happen over weeks and months and years, and consistent voting, consistency. We always say, what do we say, JP? We say voting is a life.
Voting is a habit, not a trend.
That's not what we say. We say it's a lifestyle, not a trend. We say it's a lifestyle, not a trend, because it's through your whole life. You have to keep doing this because you have to affect change all the time. You don't get to just hit it once and then leave.
And dipping your the water sounds dirty.
Everything I say sounds dirty after 6 o'clock.
That
Late
sounded
night.
We have only been drinking water. What is happening?
I am not drinking water. I'm
No.
with Uncle Nolan.
drinking water.
This is not tea. So here's a fun little question, and I think we're going to get kicked off of Instagram pretty soon, but I don't know because we stopped and started 3 times, so I have no idea where we are in the time frame. But is there a character that you've played that you think would be an excellent choice to run for office?
Well, I was of the United States. You know, I did get to play the president if you chose me. But let's see. But no, I would be a terrible president.
But you probably chose Laura Bailey, right?
No, Saints Row. Yeah,
Laura
Laura Bailey was the female choice, or it was me. Let me see. Saints Row, I think that's what it was.
Yes, it was, and yes.
Well, Deadpool would certainly be a perfect because he's got to lead and have a good time, so that would definitely be good. And then he always has his 2 counterparts in his head: the one who's very, very serious and talks like, and then the one who wants to look at boobs. So he's just out of his mind. So and I think maybe since we've had crazy in the White House, let's go really crazy for the White House. Just Deadpool 2020. Thank you, Bioweapon Hunter. Yeah, there you go. Let's let Deadpool for president.
There it is.
There it is. Terrifying, but possibly better than.
Ain't gonna get any scarier.
Right? At least Deadpool has a sense of humor.
Yes.
And he looks good in a tight suit thing. And he has cool things. And he swears a lot. So hey, I like him.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some. I'm trying to think if there are any. Oh, we could go back to Halo Wars though. Sergeant Forge, former military, heroic. I don't know much about his views because, he sacrificed himself to save everyone. So he's dead. So that wouldn't be a good choice, would it? No, I think about it.
You've played a lot of characters, so I'm sure there's a third choice out there. And we only have 2 minutes remaining. I knew we were getting close. Which really means we only have 1 minute remaining because they cut us off.
So the way that we always sign this off, Nolan, is we ask you to tell the audience to get out and vote in the voice of your favorite character. So any character of your choosing, sign us off.
I can't just pick one. So Nathan Drake would say, get out there and vote. Do it. Oh, crap. And Dr. Richtofen says, I hate you, Dempsey. You're American, but you Americans have the ability to vote. So I would definitely go vote. And Deadpool would basically just say, hey, kids, get out there and vote. Or I'm going to come over and put big pineapples on your pizza.
Oh. They're going to give me nightmares.
There you go. Yeah, this is a horrible thing to do to people.
No, it's the pineapple on the pizza.
Yeah.
Gross.
You know what? I'm okay with it. You know what? Pizza, listen, pineapple on pizza, it's okay, kids. People say fruit doesn't belong on pizza. Tomatoes are pizza, are fruit.
Fruit doesn't belong, hot cheese and pineapple doesn't belong together. We have 30 seconds left. Guys, make sure that you register to vote at nerdsvote.com. Register today. Tell a friend.
Register to vote at nerds.com.
More information as we get closer to the election of all the stuff you need to know to make sure that you are counting vote safely and securely.
And join us on Tuesday for our fabulous guest, Anna. On Thursday. This is Tuesday. Thursday, Anna Brisbane, Fritzy Voices. If you know her, she's awesome. She's on the YouTube. We love you. Bye.